Just trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. I got a lot of information I want to share with you, so let's just get into it. On yesterday's video, price was right here. I've been covering the NQ for roughly about 4 days here, so you can definitely go back to kind of get caught up from where I started. But I'll do my best to outline as much of it as I possibly can. But if I miss anything, definitely go back and take a look at the prior videos. The price activity was here before the bar closed, and then of course it turned blue after the video. And then I did tell you that they would go up. All right, so I'm trying to make sure that you have record of what it is that I'm expressing to you, and you can go back and check the videos to see it for yourself. I said be careful, they will come back and get this low after taking out that high, and that was on yesterday. The blue bars, let me go ahead and tell you about that. The blue bars are just, it's just professional activity coming into the market where okay, price should begin to move. It should move. It should get on its way. It's real simple. I took one indicator off here that kind of outlines this scenario here because I annotated the chart and I didn't want it to get in the way. But we're going to look at this on the daily. So typically, because today it's going to happen, I told you guys yesterday that I believe that they would not close this the daily, that they would not close out the high of here, even though they had that big rally up, that they wouldn't close outside the high. They can possibly reach up, but not close. I also told you that if they want to go down, they're not going to close, above this bar. All right. So we're going to look at that. But this is setting up on the daily. All right, so you're getting 4 bars inside of this bar here. I had an indicator up here, but I had to take it off. Again, I'm annotating the chart, and I did not want it to get in the way and be an eyesore to you. When this happens, it's a phase process. That's all it is. Now, there's some information that's here that I'm not able to disclose to you, but in my indicator suite, there's another additional tool that will not just only highlight this bar, but give you some other information to kind of build around. All right, so want to just make you aware of that. Now, again, here's the blue bars. Now, you can, when the bar closes, when it closes, it turns blue. That can either be a sell or a buy. You just got to put context to it. Just make sure everything that I'm telling you, make sure you have context. All right. So really important. They pushed down here. They didn't go through the bottom of the bar. They went through the top. There's a good chance they may want to push up. Now, there's occasions where they'll go through the bottom, come back through the top, and then end up coming back through that bottom. Put everything in context. All right. Make sure you do that. Now, because this is a trend to the downside. So just make sure you get that going. All right. So here they came into this high, but now you got a trend to the upside. So it begins to drop. They're breaking the blue bars, but you got to get them through this low. Then they came in and then they did not want to break the low of that blue bar, and then they took off to the upside. All right. So coming in on this high, they kind of again pushed up past that, didn't pass here, kind of leaned over, and then of course came back in and picked it up and then went up to the upside. Now keep in mind what I just told you about this pivot. We're going to take a look at this in a moment. Also, if you want to be able to catch the gaps, I know everybody loves gaps, and so I tried to make well, this is a version. I have a couple versions in my indicator suite for you, but this is a version that I just updated, and then here's some supply and demand zone I added to the chart as well. Now you have the third bar, which is really significant, the one in the back. All right, so not this one here, because this is what creates that gap. I want to tell you this. When the bar is oscillating, going up and down, when the mid of the bar exceeds the prior bar, it will create the gap more often than not. You'll see the gap show up, and you do not need that third bar. All right, you don't need it. All right, so you'll want to have your stop here, not inside this gap. All right, you can trade it however you want, but I'm just telling you it's best to put your stop here because that's majority and that's what's creating that gap. All right, so they went up to the upside. Okay, coming in on the high. Consecutive blue bars are important. All right, that's important. And of course, they came in up here and they begin to break down under them. All right, that's not what you really want. And of course, they begin to decline. Now, here's the ranges. I tried to put that up there for you too. That's the ranges you're about to see. The 1215, 145, and then the 615, 745. This is a trend. You can see the blue bars here consecutively. They pushed on and gave you your trend distance. Of course, here's your center of your trend. You're trying to get 7 bars closing higher than the prior green bar, or 7 bars closing lower than the prior red bar. Project that distance. All right, and then go for that. It's really simple. Don't make trading hard. You don't need any kind of oscillators. Because typically, and if you watch this long enough, once they hit 7 bars or hit the trend distance, they'll rotate. So you don't need any kind of oscillation. You don't need moving average, trend lines. You don't need any of that. All right. So just want to make trading simple for you. So here's 7 bars going back to the upside. Now, that bar is blue. Again, when the bar closes, there's a chance that they can possibly go down or up. You have to put everything together and make sure it makes sense. All right. And that's all you have to do. You had the 7 bars in here. They pull back up here. You can see them here, but they're not willing to get back through that high. They begin to rotate back down. Then they came in and picked it up. Consecutive blue bars, really important. Again, they're right here. You get the consecutive blue bars right in this area right here. They pulled into it. And then, of course, again, you want to have your stop behind the zones. All right. So this is a 2 bar. Again, this is the 3 bar. All right. So when they pulled into that and they pushed up. Now, here's that high. They pushed up to it and then they begin to make a trend down, pull to the center of it. And then they gave you some more of that. All right. And then, of course, they went up here again. Didn't want to break it straight away and then kind of lean back down into the center of this uptrend. And then that's when they commenced to make that distance there. All right. Now, I'm not going to go through every scenario, but I did want to show you just a few of them so you can acclimate yourself to the process. All right. So wherever you're seeing the arrows, all right, that's telling you it's trend and trend distance. It's really simple. All right. Now, keep track of the bars, and I'm going to just kind of scroll through this so you can kind of witness how it looks. All right. Then we're going to take a look at that hourly. We're going to take a look at that daily and just kind of pick that apart for this final update. All right. So here you go. I'm gonna just kind of scroll through this. And then, of course, the decline this morning. All right, before we get to that 9:30 moment, you had the trend off that high. Okay, so you had the trend off the high. They made the trend distance. They went up there, well, didn't quite get there, got halfway, and then fell down. Made a trend here, went up there and got that distance. Made a trend inside here. When they made this one, they didn't want to make it back through the center of this one. Now, they did rest on the center of that trend and then popped up, came back into it, but they didn't want to get it to work. Moved up to the center of this trend up here, kind of revisit that area a couple times there. And then there's your decline. Now, remember this line. Okay, remember that line? Okay, that's that pivot. I told you that they would come back and get that pivot. Absolutely, they will come back and get that pivot. Some information that I'm just a little bit aware of that I can't share with you, but I knew that they would come back. It's really simple. All right, everything that I believe about markets is simple. It's not complicated. All right, so that's really something that you would need to know. It's not complicated. I'm doing my best to make sure that I express that to you. I'm trying to see if we had anything of any significance in here that you need to see. All right, so there we go. Now let's get over here to that decline and when it took back off to the upside. All right, so here we go. Consecutive blue bars. They went up even higher, kind of came into this low, consecutive blue bars. They got above them, and then of course they went up a bit more. And then of course they set you kind of a couple trends in this as well, and did the kind of the back and forth thing. Now here's where it get interesting, kind of like that last move they just made. Now right here, you got blue bars coming in on this bottom. They came back to that bottom and they didn't want to break it. So let's get that low here. 30, what is that? I'm sitting away from the computer just a bit, 56.50. And then we came in again, 50 low, 58. All right, so we had 58. So we came in again just above that low. Blue bar here's consecutive blue bars here. They got above that. And then, of course, here's your move to the upside. All right, so let's take a look at that. Consecutive blue bars here. They leaned into them and then bang, they took off to the upside. Consecutive blue bars here. And of course, a couple of them there. And then they got up here. Now, here's your range. They got right back to your range. All right. There's your range. They got right back up into that area up there. And then, of course, they fell off the bottom of those ranges. So if you need the range times, here it is. Go ahead and jot that down. And that should be able to help you navigate the markets just a bit, be able to count the bars. That's really, really important. On this decline, let's see what we got. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3. Let's get our crosshairs here. We got 4. Okay, this is 5. That's 6. That's not 7. That's not 7. So they're trying to turn it back up. All right, so that kind of makes sense. Now let's take a look at the hourly. Do forgive me, I have a couple of more of my tools on this chart that I didn't have in the other videos, but don't worry about it. All right, changed a couple things here. So What I told you was this on yesterday. All right, this zone can be a problem. There was a zone right here, not these, not this zone. I put that there, but there was a zone. I had drew like a little red box here across. There was a zone here, and I told you consecutive blue outline bars, because whenever they got the consecutive blue outline bars, you had a blue outline bar here that went up, blue outline bar here, they went up, blue outline bar here, they went up and kind of stalled there, just kind of bring you up to speed. Blue outline bar here, they rotate to it, but then they push down. Blue outline bar here, they pulled into it, and then they drop. Blue outline bar here. Now, this is an interesting one as well. They pulled into that, did not break it, all right, and then they dropped. Consecutive blue outline bars, all right. When they got there, they, kind of pushed up into it. And here, they had a trend, but they didn't make, of course, the distance. They didn't. They came down and they broke that low, not wanting to get past that. You can kind of read what I said in both of those videos there. But this is the activity that we had on yesterday. And I told you that they only had 5 bars and they needed 7 in order to make a trend. Well, they made 7. And of course, they dropped down into the center of all of that. All right, and I'll just move this over here so you can see it. All right, so they drop down into the center of all of that, and then they pop back up. So now we're expecting them to get here if they want to go higher. All right, they can go higher. They absolutely can. I told you that in the video. Well, the last 3 videos I told you, I believe they can go back up if they want to, because there's something on the daily. I don't want them to break it. All right, so here, the blue dots here is the blue bars on that 1 minute. All right, so I just had to supplement the uh, the blue bars for the blue dots. All right, so wherever you're seeing the blue dot, that is the blue bar. So when the bar closes, the dot come in, as well as this other signal that I have here. When the bar closes, the signal comes in. It's just information that is telling you that it's important. All right, so down into this low, we had an aggressive reversal here. We had one off the high here, that AR. You're seeing an AR here. That's important. You tried to get them to go here. It was a couple of them that came in here, but it didn't want to go, and then it just ripped. And then of course you had one that came in here, and again they just slammed it, just went right against it. So aggressive reversal here. We had the blue dot. There's your pop up. We had an aggressive reversal here. They pushed down. And let's see where this goes. You came in with another blue dot here. Okay. Blue dot here. When the bar closed, the blue dot comes in and try to let you know, hey, there's a chance that this may turn into something. And again, you want to try to see if they can hold the back of the bar. That would help. Now, when it comes to the daily, all things being the same here, I didn't change anything. I like to look at just a couple of the tools while I'm looking at the hourly. But now you got the 4 bars. Okay, I told you guys yesterday that they were setting that up, and I didn't believe that they'll close outside that high, even if they reached outside of it. Kind of what they did on this bottom. They reached through that low, and then when they brought it back up, I knew, yeah, this is a chance that they're about to do that. All right, so again, if they're going to try to go down, your first price target is 114. All right, so 18114, that's the back of this bar, and they can definitely get it if they come down here and go through that pivot as well. So don't be down here trying to get long, because that they will have a trend on the board if they can get all the way down here, and it'll probably just keep trending down. The lowest price that you would see is 9842.5. All right, but I suspect that they can get back up if they want to. Now, this is the reason why I'm hoping that that's the case, because we have 2 consecutive blue outline bars here. You don't want them coming past these blue consecutive outline bars. Blue consecutive outline bars here, they leaned over, they popped up. They pick up speed. They have a tendency to do that when they pass these consecutive blue outline bars. Sometimes they just take off. They didn't do that on this hourly, which is surprising at this point, because they actually got through this one. But we have a blue outline bar here, and this can still be an issue. This is one from Friday that they pulled up to and caused them to decline. And again, there's an aggressive reversal here after you had it come in here, they absorbed it and just kind of punch right through it. We have one here, but again, we have a trend up. All things considered, we have a trend up. Make sure you put context to it. If they're going to go higher, you can go ahead and expect them up here to that 43, somewhere in that area right there. All right, so this will be my final video for a while, people. For a while, I want to make sure that you have some information that you can look at. Again, I tried to stick it out with you guys for the past 4 videos. If you're new to the channel, I have a link below, so you can watch the other video that talks about the entry, how to enter the trade based on majority. All right, so I wish you absolutely all the best with your trading. Again, I'm gonna just compress this so you can kind of see that information one more time, and you can definitely see that those ranges would have helped you out if you had it. All right. So if you're new and you're just needing a little bit of help trying to frame out your day, that information there can definitely become a bit useful. But make sure you use it all in context. You don't want to trade markets without understanding what cycle you're on. So if they're trending, you need to know what a trend is and listen to the market. Now, I'll say this and I must go. When it comes to having help, when you need help trading, when you get advice, it doesn't need to cancel out your help. All right. So if you get some advice, even from me, if I'm telling you something that's not going to help you, don't listen to me. Listen to the market. That's what I encourage. Listen to the market. You don't have to have my indicators. You can use a chart, just nothing on it. You absolutely can do it. And this is proof of it. Just count the bars. Try to count the bars. Now, again, I have tools that make it simple. I do. I have a lot of tools that make it simple. And you're more than welcome to have those tools if you're already in the market searching for indicators. You can have a professional's opinion on your chart for as little as 200 bucks. I don't want you to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars trying to purchase indicators. Already done all of the work for you if you want them on your chart. All right. And if you don't, that's fine. Again, I'm doing my best to make sure that you can read the chart with nothing on it. Really important that you get that. That's what the channel is all about. If you don't mind, hit the like button. Let someone know that you find the information useful. Christmas is coming. I want to make sure that people get some help before the new year. All right. Take care.